to the people of Barbados who have come here tonight to join with the Barbados Labour Party to sound your voices. Enough is enough. But I bring you greetings from St. Thomas, because we up there are suffering too. And I have been told to tell you, enough is what we are singing up there, loud and clear. We are doing it in unison, and I am sure that you in the urban communities and the rest of Barbados are saying enough, it is enough. Brother Bostic, it is hard to follow you. I'm going to have to join the army too, because he is not only militant, he is articulate. He cares about people. And that is what the Barbados Labour Party has stood for all the 75 years that it has been in existence. That is why our motto says, a better life for our people. And Brother Bostic touched on a few things about urban Barbados just now. And I found one of these little pamphlets from 2008. The people of Barbados wanted change, and they voted for change. And we in the Labour Party know what it is like to be the government and what it is like to be in opposition. But we will continue to play our roles in the growth and development of our beloved country, Barbados. And when I looked at this flyer, and I saw the excellent work the Barbados Labour Party did up until 2008, when we left office, it said, built more than 150 new homes since 2003. So over a 5-year period, the Labour Party in urban Barbados, not rural, rural is on the other side, 150 houses, repaired almost 200 homes, had dug wells and provided bathrooms or septic tanks for more than 400 people in urban Barbados. About 50 householders who could not afford to pay had their homes connected to the South Coast sewage project. That is critical. Since 2003, spent $11 million to construct 40 tenantry roads to bring relief to hundreds of householders. Spent more than $7 million in subsidies since 2003 to facilitate the transfer of title to more than 500 families that otherwise would not have been able to own the land on which they lived. I can go on and on and on, because the Barbados Labour Party in the era of none other than the late Tom Adams and the fantastic team he had, looked at the Tenantries Freehold Purchase Act for rural people and plantations. And the Barbados Labour Party said, no, people in urban Barbados must not suffer. And therefore, the Urban Renewal Program that Christopher Stinkler came in and found a proper platform and sent home most of those people. And again, a big man tell a lie in Parliament of all places to say that 100 houses were missing. Come back 3 weeks later, got headlines, come back a few weeks later and said, oh, we find the 100 houses. That damn liar. He really facilitates the L in the DLP. Damn liar people. And they keep trying to think they can fool the people of Barbados, but you have to show them that with the nonsense they have done in 6 years, enough is enough. And we are ready to make a difference again in the quality of life of people in Barbados. During the Owen Arthur era, he came and he said in 1994, job number one is job. And to his word, the unemployment rate dropped from 22%. And when we demitted office in 2008, 6.7% unemployment. Under Owen Arthur and his team of hardworking ministers, members of parliament and supporters, we made a difference in changing the landscape of this lovely country of ours. Till the people in the Caribbean were saying, how does Barbados do it? And the Trinidadians came down, we buying, we food, we buying, and they're going on a plane. And I was going all over the place. I don't know about you. But the cruises were coming in, the Destiny and all. And Bajans got the ship back down. Tell me who going where now? You don't have anything to go, but we needed to go and sightsee. But we worked hard for the money we had. And Owen Arthur and the Barbados Labour Party gave you all security of tenure. Wipe out that casual worker condition and say permanent members of this country. So you had that piece of paper to go in your hand, go in the bank, go to the mortgage companies, go to the credit union, and they were able to assist you because you met the criteria for safe employment. And these people have come and eroded everything that we have done, spiting Barbadians, more so the Barbados Labour Party supporters than anybody else, because they were singled out. And that is why Urban got decapitated. George Heritage got licked up. You know they ain't get a blind cent yet, because he won the judgment. He ain't get a cent yet. But Miss Marie, people on the radio tonight, when they coming down saying she has to get her money soon, where the hell she gonna get it from? If George Heritage can't get his, if Barbadians are being sent home unceremoniously, Miss Marie, you got to wait. Your lawyer can say what he like, Albara can get his either. Miss Marie, you got to wait. And if the government gives them, then you know hell gonna break loose. You know why? Garcia come here, get a house, and we got Bajan women with children on the road. Nothing to eat, nowhere to live. And he has security and TV. And people don't have anything to eat, but he got TV. And all the government has to do is to come with some kind of legislation. Be jinxed, and when they come from overseas, from wherever the hell they come from, do not keep them in Glenderry prison that we have to feed them. Find them guilty, put them on the plane, send them back. They treated the Africans who came here worse than that. Send back those who come from the Caribbean that spending days in Queen Elizabeth Hospital with our police officers watching them to see if they get pass out bags. And let the officers get on the road and protect us in our communities. Because when our people aren't working, they're going to be tempted because the devil finds work for idle hands to do. We must be safe. Send them back from whence they came. Once you find them guilty, the shortest time in Glenderry is doing the trial. Now, I found some notes because I always got archives. Because I am heard that our name called Barbados is now trash. And the people down the islands are saying, how did Barbados get like this? Well, Owen Arthur had everything to do with the productive sectors, firing on every cylinder, construction booming. Even agriculture started to look up. Manufacturing. Tourism, don't talk about that, silly. The only thing about tourism that growing is you beggars. International business. Those areas were booming. Barbadians were gaining employment. They were empowering themselves with property, paying for their children's education, sharing what they had with their neighbors. Men in Barbados were working. There's no man who does not want to work and look after his family. And this government has pushed our men to zero. But you know what? There's no way in this world, don't care where I were living, that nobody in no party can come and give me a $200 or $500 for my vote. Because I want Fundel to investigate the whole report about votes being sold. Because our poor people went up hand in glove, mendicant, and took money for votes, and now tonight they're sorry. Because their homes cannot be settled with those wicked bunch of men and women. Now Barbados' name in the international arena is junk. Trash. Because when 3 international agencies can say to Barbados, downgrade, 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 it says that our name is not good anywhere. And the Barbados Labour Party will make the difference for you again. Under the leadership of Mayor Amar Motley and the team of Barbados Labour Party supporters, with Owen Arthur, the economic guru, pointing us forward in the Clyde Maskell or Tyrone Barker and the crowd, because at the end of the day, it is not about us becoming rich, because we are only carrying that middle class title now. But I got some communities in St. Thomas are highly middle class. Be jinx and when you open the fridge door, water in them. And you got luck that the light on. This government has dragged the middle class in the gutter. They have cut people's allowances. So when two people are working in government and they're traveling officers and so, and their allowances are cut by $500 per month, that is $1,000 in the household. And when two little old people are living in a house, and they were getting 2 pensions each before, and you cut out that pension as the Dems have done, then you are telling those little old people you can't pay your land tax, you can't pay the insurance for your house, you can't buy the food to match the diet for your diabetes, because that is $500 and $700 in some instances that has been taken away from a government that say, we love you, we care. Pathways to progress. And now tonight we are here in the gutter. We are here in the gutter as a result of a clueless government under the leadership of a sleeping giant and a team of individuals that, yes, people. And we are now at zero and going down past the number line. You know you can count, and when you get to zero, it's -1 and -2 and that kind of thing. That is where the Dems are pushing us now. But the Democratic Labour Party learned of our Rubbing Shoulders project. And when they heard that we were going in the agriculture belt to see those persons in agriculture and the conditions they were working under, and to talk to them and get to be able to give them some ideas and speak with the plantation owners, it created confusion. We went to see the fishermen, and that created confusion. We went to see the vendors in Bridgetown, and it hurt my heart when I see people like Kian, the Calypsonian, who said that they were paying $10 and $15 and $20 and $30,000 per month for store spaces in Swan Street. Have to be running all about through town with trolleys. Now we understand their men now we closed on one hand and closed on the next all last week. Begging people to buy something. That is what the Dems have put Barbados into. It is the worst time in my lifetime. And I must tell you, I am only going to be 32 on Saturday. But it is the worst time in my lifetime that I have ever lived. I grew up in poverty, no running water in the house, no electricity, going in the agriculture belt and cutting a head in cane. But it was not as bad as now, because we raised the bar under Owen Arthur and the other leaders before now. And we were able to enjoy a kind of quality life. Why you think the Guyanese and the Trinidadians, the Jamaicans are running here and coming to live? Because the life was better. And these people have destroyed my little country, my little rock. But hear this. Dr. David Esway, I ain't got a thing bad to say about it. Not a bad word to say about it. If we take Hamila, we can take anybody. Comrades and friends, 1 year later, what does Barbados have to show that tickle one of those? 1 year later, what does Barbados have to show that the country is being raised socially, economically? Well, infrastructurally, you can see something. Because you can see the crossover that I never see 3 people cross it yet. So at least you can see that. You can see the confusion over in Redmond's Village. That were the Barbados Labour Party, the government, our flyovers would have been finished. Because this government has got cost overruns on that road. And it still is coming to no end. But how did we get here? What do we have to show for it? How did we get to this level? Ask Sir Lloyd. Sir Lloyd, who is a Dem, who craftily organized what he had to do in 1991 with the IMF, cut my money by 8%, because I got the paper here to show you, tell him, patriotic citizen of Barbados, don't touch a blind cent. I got mine until we have archives. But Sir Lloyd questioned about 3 weeks ago, how did we get here? What happened, Fondell? And answer here. I don't think that they care about their elders anyhow. Sir Frederick Smith, who called me the dame. Now all that he's telling you though is that he ain't got no confidence in the current speaker. Because he said make Cynthia a dame and make she the speaker of the house. So I am not so sure what message she was sending to the speaker, or if the speaker thinks it's a message at all. But I will never be a dame, I will die first. So don't worry about me, Sir Frederick, but I respect you for putting that confidence in me. But it's a pity you didn't say put Irene as a dame. Or put Esther Bayasuku as a dame. But he chose Cynthia. But here's Sir Frederick Smith. At the headquarters of the Democratic Labour Party, he said, we have given people too much freeness. He also acknowledged that the Dems got 18 ministers and that Fondell should cut out one. And you might want to ask which one. Well, if under tourism, we were bringing millions of dollars, and Christopher Sinclair said tonight that this is the third consecutive year that the Hilton has brought in revenue, and it is like 17 or 19 million dollars. They curse Owen Arthur and the Barbados Labour Party for building the Hilton, building the prison, building the highway, building the schools, putting up EduTech as a project. Without EduTech, where will Barbados be now? Everybody over the BB, everybody on a computer, going the gas station computer, going the hospital computer. Wherever you go, computer. Thank God for Owen Arthur and Mayor Motley and what they have done in the 14 years to transform Barbados and make us the independent people we are. I feel that Fondell, my dear friend, I feel that you should cut your cabinet. But when you ask that, who will he cut out? Will he take out Esther? Will he take out Dennis or Dennis? Will he take out Irene or Jepta with the big guts? Will he take out Harry, who fumbling all about? Will he take out Darcy or will he take out Todd? And then Dr. Eswick come out last week and blow them away again. He said, too much freeness. And I know he would have been referring to the catering in the camps, but the Labour Party says so. You should have talked then, though, Eswick. From 2008, you should have talked. The phosphate he talked about. The councils he talked about. And the Dems have sold out Barbados in barely a 6-year period. They are so ashamed they won't even celebrate the first anniversary. Because you know they're custom cutting show. And you don't know when culture goes send down tents and stages. And I know who paying for them. If they get paid for it all. But they have done nothing this time. Because them too shame. And Darville come and tell Fondell, nobody ain't cutting my money. I got to work for my children and pay my bills and do that and that and that. You leave them. Here, but no, I'm talking on Eswick before I think, and I'm coming to a close soon. On February the 2nd, 2010, listen to Eswick. Prime Minister David Thompson has given a clear indication that he is in support of a wage freeze in Barbados. There's a nation. Any slight increase in wage bill will have serious implications because it means we'll have to look for either cutting expenditure in other areas, particularly our social programs, which will be undesirable, Thompson told reporters. And if we are certainly not contemplating layoff or any reduction in wages, so we are hoping this year in the construction of our estimates to be able to not increase the wage bill in any way other than by way of increments, he added. The issue was raised at a constituency meeting on the ruling Democratic Labour Party on Sunday by the Economic Affairs Minister, Dr. David Eswick, who indicated that the economic situation in the island was so bad, 2010 here, Eswick says it was so bad that there is need for a wage freeze and the sale of state assets to help the government ride out the challenge it faces. I will be asking Prime Minister David Thompson to articulate a position of wage freeze because we have to do it, Eswick said, noting that government is spending over $450 million US dollars than it is earning annually in 2010. But Eswick didn't have to say, oh, in Arthur. And the Barbados Labour Party went the length and breadth of this country and told Barbadians that situation. We talked about the economic crisis internationally and what Barbados should be doing. And they cursed when he said, get back to agriculture. What they got to get back to now. And people in agriculture, as they plant something, somebody come and thief it. Nothing proper. Attorney General finds something to bring to be able to take out these people with breeding larceny. They're going in St. Thomas and killing a cow. And it has to be a professional butcher doing it or two. And all they're leaving is that carcass. Everything shaved off in the night. And people in town and people in the country buying the damn beef and eating it and they know. Anyhow, let me go on to close. The Dems talked about good governance when they were coming in their manifesto. They talk about fairness. They talk about transparency and integrity. They talked about accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do the maths. And when you do the maths, you will be able to find out that the Dems were only taking us on a ride. And all like tonight, we are suffering. Our friends, our neighbors, our families got sent home. And a man that got $8 million in savings here, that no bank in Barbados ain't want to keep it. December the 8th, 2013, the $8 million should be taken and shared among every one of those people who got sent home. You know why? The government put in, when Dr. Marion Williams was the governor of the central bank and David Thompson was alive and kicking, $10 million of the taxpayers' money into CLICO. The $8 million should be distributed among poor Barbadians, Castle, up in here in Quakers Road, wherever the other names are, Carrington Village, all up in St. Philip by you, sister. All in St. Lucie, the $8 million should be spent in this economy. Because I don't know who on Barbadian could come with $8 million and ain't got a truck to go and do a construction or road or nothing. But that is not for me to question. The courts and the same CLICO and other agencies have got to do what they have to do. And when Miss Fowler spoke about what she had to speak, then she heard that she like a bald bush cat. These men, some of them don't have no respect for women, but they have to respect me. Because if you know about me as a bald bush cat, I know about you. That you ain't even coming up for breath. You're not even coming up for breath. Trouble, don't trouble me. Do not trouble me. Let me wrap up. You all are a bad behaved crowd. I am talking about somebody who is diving and they are so efficient, they are not coming up for breath. That is a fantastic professional diver. Now let me close. You know why? As much as I was talking just now, they made a little joke in between. I'm a very serious woman. And I will stand up for my right. And I want you to stand up for yours. And we don't have to come here, you speaking at a meeting like this all the time. No, we don't have to go to the people's assemblies all the time. Because the people of Barbados who are apolitical, they don't belong to either side of the political arena. They are the ones who are coming and telling you their stories. And the stories are heart-wrenching. I went to St. George, to the People's Assembly. And I heard a man say, when the Labour Party was the government, I had 20 people working for me in my business. And it brought tears to my eyes. He said, in 2009, I ended up with 15. In 2010, I ended up with 10. In 2011, 12, I ended up with 5, and now be jinx. Only 3 people in my company, me and my 2 cousins. I told you about Kian and them downtown already running about. The fishermen who are not getting any help, and you saw their plight in the newspaper. On February the 1st, I got this newspaper. Union hits back. And I don't know why Danville came out and interfered with the union's leader. I don't know what he interfered with the leader for when the leader said he didn't have the proper consultation and so. The union has its work to do. And the union leader hit back and he said, well, you didn't talk when you call them people at QEH for work. But persons were being laid off unceremoniously. So that when those persons in the drainage unit were sent home, we learned further from the Prime Minister they were not sent home, that those who were sent home are not a part of the 3,000. So you might be talking 3,500 people going home. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, people were being sent home since 2012. They were not taking on anybody to do any temporary work when a janitor went off or a clerical officer went off. They said only critical areas will you hire somebody. And when I saw what happened on the 1st, where these women, they were sent home on the 31st of January 2014. And you can see the hurt and the pain. And as you open the newspaper, you can see more people shocked to have been given letters to go home, having worked and tried working hard, most of them. And then the Minister of Housing come out laughing in the evening. You want to see Kelman though? He came out laughing in the evening that those people were unceremoniously sent home. And some of them did not even have the right records for them to be able to get benefits. Where is the heart? Enough of the Dems is enough. And then Mr. Eswick came out, Dr. Eswick came out and talked. And by the Monday, I am seeing a paper where the Dems that are ministers, 5 of them laughing. Can you imagine hundreds of people get sent home? They don't know how they're going to feed their children, how they're going to be able to pay for the car, how they're going to be able to pay the mortgage and the rent, how they can give their old mother whose pension was taken away. And these people laughing, and at that a bar behind them with liquor and big mouth drinks too. It is so wrong. Where is the heart of the Democratic Labour Party that fooled you, the people of Barbados, with their rhetoric to tell you to vote for them? Dems now, Dems again was their slogan. Dr. Eswick, I respect you for coming out boldly and saying that you are disgusted. I know that there are many families tonight that are hurting as a result of being sent home. We in the Barbados Labour Party have done it before, and we will do it again. We have done it before, and we lived up to our promise, because the Barbados Labour Party sees its manifesto as a social contract. The Democratic Labour Party told you so in the 1980s. They told you, well, that's not a social contract. Those are ideas and so that we've put on paper. And they're showing you now it is not a social contract again. I implore you, the people of Barbados. I implore you, the people of Barbados, sit back and think. And when the Labour Party tells you come, you come. And you know why I'm going to tell you that? I marched because I was on the executive of the Barbados Union Teachers. An idiot like me used to vote for Ronald Jones. I voted for him as my president and for Harry as my secretary. Harry ain't bad neither. Harry ain't bad. But I was on the union. And I know that unions come out and represent people. And I know that the unions will do it again. But they are faced with so many challenges. And the situation now is a little different in that there are some people who are going home, and people believe there will be only those who are 2 and 3 and 4 years in the business. But when they are finished taking out those to make the 3,000, you don't know who is next, that got 5 years and 10 years. Because a young man called me first thing on Thursday morning, minutes past 6, I'm listening to the obituaries. He said, Miss, it is me, and he called his name. I said, hey, how are you? He said, you don't know that I got him 10 years and NCC sent me home? I said, 10 years? Then I learned from him that what this government is alleged to be doing is taking the list from the statutory corporations, giving them to the ministers who go to their constituency offices and vet the list. So when you say Cynthia Forde, say don't touch she vote for me. You see Bernadette James, take out she's a stinking them. A stinking bee, excuse me. And that is how they have been operating according to what I hear. If it is true, I condemn it. And I hope it is not true. Because Barbadians are Barbadians. Already they have sent home the non-nationals among us. We belong to Barbados. Frandel, all of us belong to Barbados. And we must eat. And we must breathe. And we must live. And we must make a contribution to the growth and development of our country. You go and you making young people pay $5,000 and odd from next September. And you send home the parents. How the children get paid? How will the families pay when the bank ain't lending them the money? The bankers came out and said, those temporary workers, we ain't getting them the loans. You have taxed Barbadians to the max, Frandel, road tax, land tax, even bicycle tax. And now people are out here reeling under the pressure. There's no good word you're talking about sucking the nipples of breasts. Sucking what nipples of breast what? It needs to suck a lollipop. Because I know you're listening for something else. Let me tell you. You ready for me? You sure I'm ready? Huh? I thought maybe they can do it. All right. 2 things and I'm done. 2 things and I'm finished. A man called Nigel Harper wrote a document to David Thompson, to the eyes of David Thompson in 1991. And there's only one paragraph I'm going to give you out of my head. And he said, we must win back this government. And this is after only won the second time, 94 and 99. Otherwise, the Dems will be in opposition forever. Because he saw the good work going and others were doing. And then he said, in order to do it, all Democratic Labour Party members must get into every institution in Barbados and be a part of what is happening. They must be in the unions, there must be the taxi men, the minibus drivers, teachers, police officers, and you know, be jinx like they do it in true. Because let me tell you, a good few of them MPs and them ministers on the credit union boards and different things. And I ain't got no problem with that. But if they're going to give justice, well, then I will support them. He said there must be a revolt. There must be a welter of discontent across the length and breadth of Barbados. And now we are rubbing shoulders. That is something that says you're listening to the people. You have the pulse to hear them and feel their pain and find something to do and help them over it. They are saying that we should they want the police to crack heads and destroy people. Well, let me tell you as I close. They changed the chandeliers at Government House for almost 100,000 Barbados dollars. What did they change them for? That money could have helped these same people that get sent home. They built the flyover, $2.5 million. That could have helped too. They paid more than $4 million $4 million for catering alone for the summer camp. That could have helped these people and they wouldn't have to go home tonight. But you know now that there is the royalty. Their royal highnesses are coming in. And they're looking to spend over $100,000 for refreshments, I heard. I will not support it. I will suck salt first that evening. Because that $100,000 can be spent on you all. Those of you who are now employed. Those of you whose family need to get a proper meal to eat. Those of you who need to send your children to school not only with free bus fare. Because once you have free bus fare, you will get to school. But then when you get there, what will you eat to feed your mind and feed your body? It is wrong. And I encourage you all, no disrespect for the royalties. Because I believe history will be history. But I am not going to join that company if that kind of money is going to be expended when you have potholes want fixing with the $100,000. When you have health needs that there's so many things that curator didn't want to go there at all. When you have the social services and your light bills that welfare's had some, that because there are no resources, even though the employees have tried, some people like Bill are $300, $400, $1,000. They kept some of the bills for a whole year, trying to help. Put the $100,000 and put back light in people's houses that they can press the children uniform, they can plug in the fridge, they can get a glass of cold water. Barbados, you must recapture your country. No national is going to do it for you. You have the ability to vote when you go into the polling station whenever. Always remember, I had 14 years of plenty and I have had 6 years of horror. The Democratic Labour Party know how to run the government, but they do not know how to treat the people and how to keep it. And therefore, I don't want you to suffer anymore, because when you suffer, I suffer too. Luckily, I am in the rural districts where we work a little barter. I got a breadfruit, I give you a piece. You got a potato, you give me one. But in the rural and the urban communities, you don't have that luxury. Ladies and gentlemen, let Frondel and the Democratic Labour Party step back and treat to you as human beings and give you a chance to get back to that bar that was set for you by ONS and the Barbados Labour Party, where you could sleep comfortably in your house at night and you didn't have to worry about a bailiff coming. You didn't have to worry about the mortgage people calling 10 and 5 and 10 times. You didn't have to worry about the neighbor whose $50 you borrowed to send school the children and you ain't getting it back because welfare cut. Colonel Bostic told you about that. Cynthia told you about that. We have a lot of important work to do, but we cannot do it when we know that you are suffering. We have to rub shoulders with you. We have to communicate with you. We have to handhold you and give you a better way to live, because that is what the Barbados Labour Party stands for. It has nothing to do with power. And if we step away from here now, what will happen to you all? I can't afford to step away because this is all I know. Me, I cannot afford to step away. No mind the woman on the radio says she borrowed a gold spoon. You don't have to be born with a gold spoon and not know how to identify and empathize with poor people. And that is Mia's life, her whole lifetime. She knows how to treat people with dignity and respect. The Dems do not know. And I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, have no fear. I will never support any project that will create any uprising. I will never support any project that people will get injured, that people's lives will get dislocated. I am going to support marching, rallying, going into town hall meetings, working with people, going into the community where I live, and empowering people how they can do other things to survive. For I will close by telling you, in the name of Jesus, on Saturday morning, when I reach that 32nd birthday, I am going to St. Peter to pick cotton with a team. You know why? You know why? Money, as my mother told me, she was an agricultural laborer. She said, Cynthia, and the other 7 of us, she said, let me tell you all something. I am going out there taking the sun and the rain to be able to feed you all, because I am going to suck salt with you. No man must come and give my 7 daughters anything to be able to get something in return. She said, but let me tell you something. On a Friday evening, when I get the little money from the plantation, I ain't go on dirt nor grass. So when you go and help pick the cotton, the money ain't go on no fuzz. It ain't go on no cotton. It go on Gradley Adams, $100. Errol Barrow, $50. And whatever the rest of monopoly money that the people bring up. And I encourage any of you, take down my number. Call me if I go get a minivan. And we will show the people of Barbados we are resilient. And we are not going to cow out and bow out under the Democratic Labour Party. We are going to go out there and feed our families. We are going to go out there and be productive citizens. And we are so civil and we are so organized in what we do. There will never be anybody getting hurt or anybody getting cursed or beaten or anything. We will stand up for righteousness, and we trust that the Barbados Labour Party will give us the opportunity because we trust you and you have trusted us well. God bless you. Thank you and have a good night.